Hey, all you home healthcare owners, it's Terry Kelm back here to talk about maximizing the value of your home healthcare business at Exit. So, home healthcare businesses are remaining very, very desirable on the resales market. As a matter of fact, according to BMI Mergers, the first quarter of this year alone saw over 100 transactions in the home healthcare market segment, the most active first quarter in recent history. And just as you have found when you bought into the home healthcare industry, your business appeals to potential buyers on many different levels. You're management oriented, it's white collar work, you're highly profitable typically, you have a very scalable business model, and you get the residual benefit that you are helping people and providing a valuable service to the community. Sunbelt and our affiliated brokers have literally sold hundreds of home healthcare businesses in the past 20 years. And thus, we understand the market, we understand the model. So today, we're going to discuss the ins and outs of maximizing the value of your home healthcare business as you get prepared to exit your business. So, to jump right in, the first step in any succession planning process is to consider your options on how you're going to leave your business. Because let's face it, every one of you is in a business that has a finite life cycle. At some point in time, whether it be a year from now or 20 years from now, you are going to leave your business. And when you do exit, you have multiple options on how you're going to do that exit. Some of you will sell to family members or give the business to family members. Others may have key employees, a general manager, a sales manager, a nurse, that may be the ultimate succession plan for your business. Some of you will just wind your business down and close it. And of course, that's not preferred. That's not going to get you a nice financial gain, but for some of you, that is the plan. And many of you other owners are going to decide to go the route of the third-party sale. And that, of course, is what Sunbelt does. We help you find buyers to sell your business on the open market. But the point is you and only you have to determine which path is right for you. Now, a quick word on that family option that I mentioned previously. About 20 to 30% of all businesses, small privately held businesses, end up succeeding to a family member. But it's interesting that in that second generation of ownership, only about half of those businesses survive. And so I bring this up because if you are thinking that family is going to be your option and you need money from that sale to, your next phase of your life, whether it be retirement, another business, whatever that next phase brings, you really have to take a very objective viewpoint to say, is this the best thing for me to do, is sell it or give it to a family member? Remember, it's your business, and sometimes choices that you have to make are very difficult choices. But you just need to be aware that family members, while they seem maybe to be the best option, sometimes they're not. But if we go back to the third party, if the third party option of selling your business is your choice, it's really important to understand two things. Number one, it's the value of your business right now. What's your business worth? And number two, what drives that value in the eyes of buyers? So let's talk a little bit about valuation and valuation methodologies. The first and foremost thing that I'll tell you about valuating your business is this. There are lots of different ways to do it. Many different valuation methods exist out there, and each methodology has pros and has cons. Okay? Some of the methodologies that you may have heard or that you may have seen bantered around include asset-based methodologies, gross sales-based methodologies, comparison-based methodologies, and methodologies based on owner benefit, or what we call seller's discretionary earnings. For years, every industry that we deal with in resales, and I deal with over 20 different industries, every industry has their own tried and true formula that's based on gross sales. And for home healthcare, many times you might have heard that your business is worth 35% of annual sales or 45% of annual gross sales, okay? But here's the problem with gross sales methodologies. They don't tell the whole story of the business. If I have a home healthcare business that does $1 million in sales and your home healthcare business does $1 million in sales, under that methodology, they're worth the same. But what if you make $200,000 in profits in your business and I only make 50? Which business do you think is worth more on the open market? Which business will a buyer find more attractive? And remember, when buyers come into a business broker's office and they have a conversation with us, and we start showing them businesses that we think are going to pique their interest and their skill sets, the first question they ask us is, how much money can I make? That's what matters to them. And gross sales method doesn't address that. But the seller's discretionary earnings method that we're going to talk further about really does. And not only is cash flow or owner benefit important to buyers, it's also important to you as you go to sell your business because it's what the banks look at. So seller's discretionary earnings is real important. So here's kind of where the rubber meets the road as far as business valuations go. If you have a business, a home healthcare business, and you have little or no owner benefit or little or no cash flow, then the sales price of that business is typically going to be determined by your assets. And as you know, home healthcare businesses don't usually have a ton of assets. But if you have a profitable, well-run home healthcare business, then those businesses can typically sell for much more than assets by using another valuation method that we call seller's discretionary earnings. So let's talk about the seller's discretionary earnings valuation methodology. This is a methodology that is preferred by business brokers, and it's preferred by business brokers because when business is good, when cash flow is high, this methodology tends to maximize the sales price for our seller clients, okay? Seller's discretionary earnings, or SDE, is not just profit. It's not just your bottom line on your tax return or your financial statements, but it's everything that you take out of the business. So it's profits plus any salary you take, plus any other perks or expense items that you run through your business. For example, if you pay your health care through your business, or your cell phone through your business, or your car insurance through your business, all of those items are added up to figure out your true owner benefit or seller's discretionary earnings. Now, once we have that number calculated, we're going to apply a multiple to that number to come up with the sales price. And I will tell you that multiples, well, they vary. They vary by industry. They vary by company size. They vary by location. They vary by a host of factors, okay? But for home healthcare businesses, as a general rule, the multiple is typically 2.5 times that seller's discretionary earnings on the low side and 3.5 times on the high side, okay? But remember, each business is unique, and home healthcare businesses have sold for less than 2 multiples, and they have certainly sold for multiples greater than 3.5. They've sold for greater multiples of 4 and even to the 5s, okay? Multiples vary based on several facets that are unique to your business, not to home healthcare industry specific, not to the franchise that you might be involved in, to your specific business, okay? So I want to reiterate something though. Price is not just a function of your financial data, all right? The value of your business is also going to vary on these facets or factors that we are going to label either as growth factors, meaning they're positive, or risk factors, meaning buyers will find them as a negative when they look at your business. On the slide that I'm going to show you, you'll see just a few of the type of facets that we look at of each individual business that we're helping sell to determine what's the correct multiple for your business. On the left side of the screen, you'll see there are the value adders, the growth factors, okay? This includes the industry itself, which, as we know, is a great industry, right? It includes, if you're part of a franchise system, the brand. Is the brand strong or not? It also looks at your earnings and your cash flow. Is it consistent? Is it growing? Obviously, if a business is going up, up, and up, the multiple is going to go up, up, and up. On the other hand, if you're coming off of 3 bad years in a row, we might be able to still sell your business, but you're not going to get maximum value for the business. We also look at customer diversity. Many of you have great customer diversity. You're not relying on just one customer for a large portion of your revenues. Buyers love that. Banks love that. We're going to look at how your revenue is made up. Is it skilled nursing? Is it non-skilled nursing? So we're going to look at that. We're also going to look at, is it insurance business? Is it government? Is it Medicare or Medicaid versus private pay? Obviously, the higher amount of private pay you have, the better your cash flow typically is, the better your price is going to be, your multiple is going to be. Okay. We're also going to look at how your business is structured. We look at management in place. Can the business run without you for a day or two, right? All of those factors, if you have them in your business, are going to lead to a higher multiple. But the converse is also true. If you don't have some of those factors, if, as I mentioned, your sales are going down, if your industry was bad, if your brand is not good, right? If you have one customer, maybe like a nursing home or a group home that is 50% or 60% of your revenue, that's a negative, right? Because if that home goes away, you lose a significant portion of your business, right? So we're going to look at, do you compete on price or are you competing on service? Again, we're going to look at that, the makeup of your revenue, private pay versus government assistance, right? So, they're also going to look at buyers also, as I mentioned, they want to buy a business that will run without them. Buyers want to work on the business, not necessarily in the business. So while that list that was just on your screen is meant to be, is not meant to be an end-all be-all list, it just kind of gives you an idea of the type of factors that we look at for each individual business to figure out, is this a business that is going to be a higher multiple versus a lower multiple, right? Buyers want to buy a business that have more growth factors, less risk factors. And if you're able to build into your business more of those growth factors, your business is going to attract more buyers and it's going to sell for a higher multiple, okay? And listen, attracting buyers is important. It's important if you're selling your business now. It's even going to be more important as we transition to the future resales market, okay? So as you look to sell your business, you do need to understand kind of a couple different things that are going on around you, right? You got to get your business ready for sale, obviously, but you also have to understand that there's some other outside factors that are going to influence your ability to sell your business and your ability to maximize price. Two big factors are the economy and the supply and demand of existing businesses at the time you decide to go to market, all right? Now again, economy, you really can't control it, right? But economy issues matter to sellers. Think about the recession, the Great Recession back in 2000, that started in 2008. Do you think sellers who had their businesses and said in 2007, you know what, I think I'll wait one more year to sell? Okay, do you think that was a good decision based on what happened? But they didn't know, right? None of us have that crystal ball. Same thing can be true of just, of 2019 and 2020 when COVID hit, right? If you had that business running really well at the end of 2019, you decide, you know what, I'm gonna go one more year. And then March 15th hits of 2020, COVID hits, and many businesses, had a problem, right? I mean, it took a hit. So you never know what's gonna be the economic factors in the economy when you're ready to sell your business, but you need to be aware of them, right? And if all things are being equal, you want to sell when the economy is good and in a good place as opposed to not. The other factor is the supply and demand, right? And I will just say this, if you have an inkling that your sale is imminent, that you're thinking about going to market sooner than later, I'm going to put in your brain right now a little bit of a sense of urgency, because from a supply and demand standpoint, the upcoming supply-demand dynamic may play a more important role in how you sell your business and the price you get for your business than the economy is going to play. And here's why I say that. In 2018 through 2019, according to bizbuysell.com, this was the most active 2-year period of small business resales ever in this country, okay? Bloomberg Financial in early 2020 called the conditions for selling your business right now, quote, the best they will ever be, okay? And that's great news for you, right? Because that economy, even though we had that blip with COVID, that economy has continued. And right now, there are a huge number of businesses that are being sold. We are seeing prices that are being paid right now that are higher than any other time in the history of small business resales. And we have low interest rates and high bank financing. So things are really lined up, right? And this is coupled with the fact that in our general marketplace right now, we have kind of high unemployment still, right? And in addition to high unemployment, we got high job dissatisfaction. There are a lot of people right now working in corporate America that are doing jobs that they were never hired for. They're performing those jobs where they never thought they'd be performing them, typically at home or a remote location, right? So you have all these people that are just dissatisfied in their current employment situation. So the unemployed and the dissatisfied, a lot of those people are turning toward the general market. So again, right now is a great time to sell because the supply of businesses is nowhere near what the demand for those businesses is, okay? So, but that harmony is going to be short-lived. And it's going to be short-lived because of something that you guys in the home healthcare business know very well what I'm going to talk about, and that is the baby boomer effect, right? You guys deal with the baby boomers on a daily basis. And really, as the baby boomers continue to age in this country, we're going to start seeing business sales numbers go off the charts. It is estimated that the 78 million baby boomers in the United States own over 2 million privately held small businesses in this country. And in that Bloomberg article that I mentioned where they said the conditions are the best they've ever been, they mentioned in that same article that they believe that every one of the baby boomer owned businesses will transition between now and 2037. So you take those businesses and you add them to the normal mix of businesses that are always for sale, and there's going to be a wave of businesses for sale in this country. And unfortunately, it's going to outstrip the demand. And it's going to become a buyer's market versus the current seller's market that we're in, right? And if you go just go on the internet right now, you'll see there are several hundred of home care businesses currently listed for sale on the market. So that's not particularly good news for you guys as you're charting when you're going to sell your business, right? We're going to see this shift from today's seller's market to a buyer's market, slightly down the road here. And buyers, when they have choices, buyers tend to be ultra picky, right? They're gonna be looking at your business and scrutinizing every little thing because, again, they have other options, right? So small business owners like yourself need to plan now to build your business that buyers will find that business attractive and want to buy that business, whether you're selling today or you're selling 10 years from now, right? So this is what this presentation is all about today. It's helping you build that sellable business that buyers are going to find attractive regardless of what market you exit in, and having that business that buyers will find attractive is going to give you a huge leg up in the marketplace. Remember, most business owners aren't properly planning for their end. They're not properly planning for how they're going to exit the business. And so for you guys just to be on this webinar today, to be listening to me talk and taking some information in, I give you kudos, because this is going to be information that you can put to work. It's going to be powerful for you, and hopefully it's going to be financially rewarding for you when you decide to go to market. But the key to having success in selling your home healthcare business is preparation, right? So again, start now. It's never too late. Even if you're thinking about selling 20 years from now, it's never too early, right? Start running your business today like you're going to sell it tomorrow, because one day you're going to be right? Buyers typically will do a 3-year look back on your financials, okay? So you're going to, look, your business is a stock, and if you could time the sale perfectly, you'd want to sell that stock when it's at its highest point. You want to sell your business when you're at a high point from a financial standpoint, right? So try to time that out if you can. And make sure you're doing financials. You're assembling good monthly financials and good yearly financials, and of course paying your taxes on time. Financials will make or break a sale when you're ready to sell. Okay, so make sure you have good financials and your books are in order. And again, as we go back to some of the things we talked about earlier, buyers want a business with as many growth factors as possible and as few risk factors as possible. So if you can build your business that way, you're going to attract more buyers and you're going to sell your business for more money. And remember, typical businesses, they don't sell overnight. That process typically takes 6 to 9 months, and it takes maybe a good year before you're ready to go to market to sell the business. So plan on a 2-year process to sell your business. I'm going to end today's webinar by giving you guys just some salient points, some do's and don'ts, if you will, on how to maximize the value of your business. And again, I'll put the preface out there. This advice, these do's and don'ts, they're valid whether you're thinking about selling your business tomorrow or 20 years from now. These are just time-tested and true things that we've seen in our 43 years of business brokering that we know is going to help you maximize the value of your sale. The first thing is confidentiality, okay? It's really important that you go to sell your business that you do not advertise your business identity in the sales process. There is a time to tell your customers, your vendors, and your employees that you're selling your business, and it's not when you first put your business up for sale, okay? So keep it confidential. Number two, price it right? A good test always for yourself is look at the business's financials, look at the price that you want for your business and say, if I was looking at this business as a buyer, would I be interested? Would I buy it for that price? I would like to tell everybody in this business that, hey, we can maybe get you the toppest outrageous dollar for your business, right? But it typically doesn't happen that way. And usually it's because once a buyer looks at a business, they know about what it's worth, but when they take your financials to their lending institution, to their bank that's going to finance them, the bank is going to put them back in line as well. So we don't overprice our businesses. We price our business at the top end of reasonable to maximize the value. Understand your financing options, right? Hopefully you have a good business that will be bank financed and you'll get cashed out at sale. Sometimes though, owners have to be part of the financing solution. So understand that going in. Talk to a business broker about what that means. So there's some of the do's. Let me give you a few don'ts as well. Number one is don't let internal problems fester. If you got some skeletons in your closet of your business, clean them up before you go to market, right? Buyers during the due diligence process, they'll uncover everything. And if you could, and let me just say this, Fran Tarkenton, the ex-Minnesota Viking quarterback, wrote a book a few years ago, and what he said was, bad news does not age well. If you got some problems that you know exist in your business today, clean them up today, okay? You're gonna have higher profits, better morale, and just a better business going forward now, and it's gonna make your business easier to sell in the future, okay? Remember, when buyers are looking at buying a business, they tend to be a little bit nervous, right? I mean, they're making a big commitment here. Think back to when you bought your business. I'm sure there was some apprehension. Buyers have that same apprehension. Any red flags that they find, any skeletons in the closet they find, all that does is add to the red flags as well. So again, clean your business up, get rid of the skeletons in the closet. It's gonna help a sale go through. Also, don't be overly boastful. Don't be overly negative as you talk to potential buyers, right? Sellers tend to sometimes be their own worst enemy. You want to answer buyer questions honestly, always honestly, but you also don't need to tell them different things that they didn't ask for, okay? I'll give you a great example of a prime seller killing a deal. And that was, we were in a buyer-seller meeting one time, and the seller actually said to the buyer, you know what? I don't think you could do what I do on a daily basis. And the buyer said, you're right. And that was the end of the meeting. So again, answer the questions honestly, but don't go over the top as far as boastfulness or aggression. Some more do's for you, right? Be available to help train the new owner. I will tell you, the day you close your business sale, the day that big fat check comes to you, will not be your last day in the business, okay? There's gonna be a transition time, there's gonna be a training time, so plan on it because it's not gonna be your last day in business when you sell. Okay, the next category is called sprinting to the finish. And I think this is best summed up by giving you two different examples. The first one was a hardware store owner in Northern California. And this gentleman had a very good, positive cash flow business. He also owned the real estate. So this was, this was a really nice opportunity for some buyers. But this gentleman was making a lot of money. And he was in his 70s, and he was torn. He was actually tormented by, when do I sell my business? And I spoke to this gentleman 6 or 7 times over the course of a 3-year span. And every time I talked to him, it was the same conversation. Terry, I'm getting tired. Terry, I know I should sell my business, but Terry, I'm making a lot of money right now. So one day he finally did. He finally called me and said, okay, I've made it. I've made my New Year's resolution. I'm ready to sell my business. So we went out there, we did a valuation, we listed the business for sale, and within a couple months, we found the right buyer for this business. And everything looked like it was on track. I mean, this was going to be a multi-million-dollar windfall for the seller, a nice deal for the business broker, and the buyer was excited to buy the business. But at the end of the day, the buyer at one point said to us, you know what, it's been like 3 or 4 months since I made my offer. Can I see some interim financials for the last quarter? So we had the seller run those financials, and unbeknownst to us, when this guy finally made that cathartic decision that he was going to sell his business, he kind of checked out. And he stopped doing the things that had made him so successful for the 30 plus years that he'd been in operation. He cut back on marketing, he stopped coming to the office, and unfortunately, in that quarter that the buyer wanted to see, we saw a dramatic decrease of about 15% in both sales and profits. Now in that situation, what's the best we could hope for? That the buyer says, okay, I need to lower my offer, but I'm going to still buy this business. But what's the worst? That the buyer actually left. And the buyer did exactly that. He canceled his purchase agreement, and what he said to the broker, and I'll never forget it, was, I have no idea if this business has been irreparably harmed. So until you sit across from somebody at that closing table and you hand them the keys and they give you that big fat check, it's still your business. And so even if your business is for sale, you got to run hard, you got to sprint to the finish, and that's the way you're going to maximize the value of the business and get a deal done, okay? Also, as I said, selling business is good. Again, your business is a stock. You want to try to time it so when you're at the top of the mountain, you're going to be able to maximize value. The last thing I'm going to mention is consult with professionals. Look, everybody, I mentioned this, I think earlier, I'm going to mention it again. Selling your business could be the single biggest financial transaction in your lifetime, okay? And you may feel that you're competent enough to do it on your own, and maybe you are. But for many of you, if you get your accountant, your tax attorney, hire a business broker, a consultant, if you get those people involved, yes, you will write a check to each one of those people. But I will submit to you that if those people do their job properly, you will end up with more money in your pocket, even after you pay those commissions and fees, than you would if you tried it on your own. This is what these people do for a living. They're here to help you maximize the value of your business at sale. They're here to make sure that you walk away with the most net money, right? So think about using professionals when you're ready to sell your business. I think it's going to pay you back in spades. So lastly, I'll just mention, you've been on our website, so you've probably seen some of our capabilities, but Sunbelt is here to help you sell your business, okay? We have many different options to help you. We have traditional brokerage services, which is our bread and butter, but we also offer consulting service, valuation services. But at the end of the day, we're here to help you achieve that top dollar and to help you navigate the entire sales process as you sell your business. So I thank you for joining us on this webinar today. If you would like to be invited to future webinars, please leave us your email address on the form, sign up. If you have any further questions, or you want to have a private, no obligation, free consultation, my contact information is on the screen. Give us a call. We'll be glad to help. Thanks again. Good luck and good selling.